one.
I'm Dean Lee. I'm Pastor Parish Chair and Lay Leader for Woodland United Methodist Church here in Albertson. In the northeast corner of Duplin County, we're a small, typical rural church, average attendance of about 50 on any given worship Sunday. Very active church. We have a very successful Boy Scout troop that we sponsor over many years. We have a very active with almost 70 kids in our preschool and after school program. And we also have a very strong senior outreach program with average attendance, about 4 or 5 of our members and almost 20 community members. So small but active and trying to do the Lord's work. In the last year or two, we've had a concerted effort to try to attract young adults and families to our church. We suffer from the same typical issues that a lot of churches have: very few children, not a lot of young folks in the church. And so we've had a concerted effort on our part to try to make being a part of church and learning what God has to offer in the church family attractive to young adults. Things we've done, we've changed our worship service. We now do the 9:30 worship service time. And then we also, between worship and Sunday school, we have what we call a coffee break, coffee bar, that we can just kind of meet, greet, and mingle, if you will, get to know each other a little better. And then we rotate who does that each Sunday, trying to stimulate interaction and activity and ownership, if you will, in the success of the church. Some other things we did to really get started off: we had a few off-site meetings with young adults, invited 30 or 35 of those folks in the community, not necessarily just members of our church, but to really brainstorm what ideas they had, what do they need from church, how do they feel like the church can support their growth of being a believer in God. Through those ideas, we've done a lot of things, such as on fifth Sunday worship service, typically we give pastor the day off. We've turned that from church service to service Sunday. And our most recent project, we did backpack buddies, where the congregation brought supplies and backpacks, and we had a brief service, and then the entire congregation came together, young and old alike, to assemble the backpacks, if you will, and to bless them and to make sure that that we're doing God's work and reaching outside the church community. Another good example was including them in doing the children's worship time during the service. We rotate that through. People volunteer to do it, and the nice thing is it's mostly the young adults who are doing that. Young and old alike participate, but that's been encouraging to see that kind of activity. And then finally, just having them, the young folks, reach out to others outside of their normal church connections, if you will, invite them to be involved in our activities. Family days, things of that nature that we have done recently really pay big dividends. And how do you measure that success? We've had several young families over the last year join the church. So anytime, if you can have 5 to 10 join in a church that has an average 50 attendance, I consider that a success with over 10% in growth, just by doing that little bit of extra, reaching out and making sure we're providing a way for folks to find God in the church family as it is today in the way they see the world. So that's some of the successes we've had here at Woodland, and I wish each of you the same success.